Let's talk now with Sherman Alexie. He comes from a long line of people who have lived the consequences of inequality. Native Americans, the first Americans. They were the target of genocide, ethnic cleansing, which for years was the hidden history of America, kept in the closet by the authors and enforcers of white mythology. How do you grapple with such a long denied history? Well, if you're Sherman Alexie, you face it down with candor and even irreverence, writing poems, novels, and short stories, and even movies. Here's a clip from Smoke Signals that Alexie wrote and co-produced in 1998.
You gotta look mean or people won't respect you. White people will run all over you if you don't look mean. You gotta look like a warrior. You gotta look like you just came back from killing a buffalo.
But our tribe never hunted buffalo. We were fishermen.
What? You wanna look like you just came back from catching a fish? This ain't Dances with Salmon, you know.
Alexie has published 22 books of poetry and fiction, including The Lone Ranger and Tonto, Fist Fight in Heaven, War Dances, and The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, a book for young adults and winner of the National Book Award. His latest work is a collection of short stories, old and new, with the title Blasphemy. I'll ask him why. He now lives in Seattle, like many of his characters who left the reservation for the city, living in between and traveling across boundaries both real and imagined. Sherman Alexie, welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here.
Life for you is a lot of in between, isn't it?
Well, as a native, as a colonized people, you do live in the in-between. The thing is, I'm native, but necessarily because I'm a member of the country, I'm also a white American.
But you must feel at home in that in-between now because so many people are, as you say, living there.
I was taught that it was not easy, that there was something destructive about it. I was taught by my elders, my parents, that it was a bad, dangerous place to be. But I've come to realize it's pretty magical. You know, I can be in a room full of Indians and non-Indians, and I can switch in the middle of sentences. So, and also because I'm ambiguously ethnic looking, you know, I come to New York and I can be anything. People generally think I'm half of whatever they are. So I end up feeling like a spy in the house of ethnicity, you know, because people will talk around me as they would talk around the people in their cultural group. So I get to hear all the secrets and jokes and you know, I'm a part of every community because of the way I look.
Is that a big change from your parents' generation and your generation?
Oh, I mean, I grew up in a monoculture. We did a family tree in 6th grade on the res, and everybody was related.
On the reservation?
Yes, including the teacher. My mom and dad met when he moved to the res when he was 5, and she was 14, and she helped him get a drink at a water fountain. My mom was born in the house where her mom was born. So we were as isolated in the sense of Native Americans as anybody else. So, you know, I realized later on that when I left the res to go to the white high school on the border of the res, I was a first-generation immigrant. You know, I'm an indigenous immigrant.
What is it like to be an alien in the land of your birth?
I mean, it's a destructive feeling because, you know, a lot of Native culture has been destroyed. So you already feel lost inside your culture. And then you add off feeling lost and insignificant inside the larger culture. So you end up feeling lost squared. And to never be recognized, to never have any power. You know, other minority communities actually have a lot of economic, cultural power. But we don't, you know, not at all. I mean, you can still have the Washington Redskins, you know, you can still have the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Indians, which is by far the worst. And if you look at Chief Wahoo on their hats and put Sambo next to him, it's the same thing. And you know, you could never have Sambo anymore. Most, you know, at least half the country thinks the mascot issue is insignificant. But I think it's indicative of the ways in which Indians have no cultural power. We're still placed in the past. So we're either in the past or we're only viewed through casinos.